Part 31.6 Surah Luqman, the wise man as-Salamu alaikum. Welcome back to Sufi Essence with Hammad Syed Quran Surah Luqman, the wise man, chapter 31, verses 30 to 34. We have reached the ultimate spiritual and intellectual zenith of Surah Luqman, a chapter that embodies the perfect synthesis of profound cosmic proof and meticulous practical ethical guidance. My profound apologies for any confusion in our previous attempts. We now, with absolute focus, traverse the final 5 majestic verses, from the 30th to the 34th. The preceding discourse has systematically established the monumental scale of Allah's power, the infinity of His knowledge, and the essential, unshakable accountability of the human soul. This concluding segment masterfully brings the entire spiritual argument to a resonant, powerful close. It does so by powerfully and definitively contrasting the eternal, self-subsisting reality of the Creator with the utter, transient falsehood of everything worshipped alongside Him. It provides overwhelming, accessible proofs of His continuous benevolent control over the most formidable forces of nature, such as the sea. Finally, and most critically, it delivers a solemn, inescapable, and unshakable reminder of the 5 fundamental matters of the unseen that are known exclusively to Allah alone, thereby completing the surah's intense, focused climax on the topics of pure Tawhid and the limits of human ill. The reality of truth and the falsehood of shirkans al-iman. Quran Surah Luqman, the wise man, chapter 31, verse 30. This is because Allah is the only truth. Whatever they invoke besides Him is falsehood, and indeed Allah is the Most High, the Most Great. This verse stands as the ultimate, definitive, theological, and spiritual summation of the entire surah's luminous message. It is a decisive, absolute verdict delivered on the fundamental conflict that defines the human experience. The irreconcilable struggle between Tawhid, the oneness of Allah, and shirk polytheism. It provides the ultimate, concise, and intellectually unassailable reason for the absolute necessity of worshipping Allah alone, without any partners or intermediaries. The core principle is declared in absolute, uncompromising, and eternal terms. This is because Allah is the only truth. Dolaka Biana Ohahua Alashuk. The majestic name Al-Ḥaqq, the truth, the reality, the eternally existing one, is the exclusive. Proper designation, an essential attribute of the Creator. He is the only ultimate, independent, and self-subsisting reality. Everything else, every creature, every law of physics, every phenomenon, and every moment of existence derives its reality, its power, and its very being entirely from Him. He is the ultimate anchor of all reality. This affirmation of absolute truth necessarily and completely negates the reality of all other objects of worship, and whatever they invoke besides Him is falsehood. Wa ana ma yad, ina min, dina, min, dina, min, binihi. The word bil signifies that which is vain, utterly devoid of substance, transient, ultimately unreal, and spiritually useless. Every stone idol, every human-made concept of a false deity. Every philosophical abstraction worshipped alongside the Creator possesses no intrinsic power, no independent existence, and can grant no benefit or avert no harm when the chips are truly down. Therefore, all worship, all devotion, and all spiritual energy directed toward them is nothing more than a profound, self-destructive delusion, a catastrophic misapplication of the soul's deepest, most essential need for the divine. This redirection of devotion is the core act of spiritual injustice, zulm. The verse seals this profound verdict by reaffirming the Creator's unmatched, infinite majesty, and indeed Allah is the Most High, the Most Great. Wa ana alha hua el alku el kabar data'a. He is al-Ḥaqq, the Most High, utterly transcendent, infinitely exalted above all human imagination, above all limitation, and above all creation. Simultaneously, He is Al-Kabar, the Most Great, possessing absolute, limitless magnitude, sovereignty, and power. These two magnificent attributes, transcendence and greatness, provide the ultimate, irrefutable justification for His exclusive, non-negotiable right to all worship and obedience. Quran Surah Luqman, the wise man, chapter 31, verse 31. Did you not see that the ships sail on the sea by Allah's grace, so that He may show you some of His signs? Indeed, there are signs in this for every patient, grateful person. Following the powerful declaration of absolute truth and the negation of falsehood, the surah now transitions seamlessly to a vivid, compelling, and utterly accessible sign of Allah's continuous, active, and merciful governance over the physical world. The verse directs our attention, through a rhetorical question that functions as an observation, to the magnificent miracle of seafaring. Did you not see that the ships sail on the sea by Allah's grace? The sea, a colossal, vast, and fundamentally untamed environment of immense, terrifying power and unpredictable volatility, is momentarily and consistently subdued to the point where massive, heavy vessels can traverse its surface with relative safety, transporting goods, sustenance, people, and resources across unimaginable distances. This temporary, dependable subjugation of the colossal force of the ocean is not a mere accident of nature or an outcome of human cleverness alone. The Quran explicitly identifies it as an act of Allah's grace, ni'mati, a continuous, benevolent, and unmerited favor extended to humanity. The explicit, profound purpose of this visible, ongoing miracle is immediately clarified, so that He may show you some of His signs. The predictable stability of the ship, the harnessing of the wind, the precision of navigation, the continuous suspension of the law of sinking all, are powerful, undeniable, and constantly visible manifestations of the Creator's continuous power and His intimate, moment-to-moment control over all physical forces. The wise individual, the one who possesses hikmah, sees the working of the divine hand in every ripple and every sail. The verse concludes by identifying the spiritual recipients of this profound, self-evident lesson. Indeed, there are signs in this for every patient, grateful person. This final clause is intensely significant, identifying the two essential, defining, and intertwined spiritual qualities of the believer who can truly benefit from observing the signs of the cosmos. Patience allows them to endure the inevitable difficulty, remain steadfast in the face of nature's occasional volatility, and maintain their moral commitment through life's inevitable challenges. Meanwhile, gratitude is the faculty that allows them to correctly attribute the successful, benevolent, and predictable functioning of the universe, such as safe seafaring, not to their own limited ingenuity or to mere chance, but directly and exclusively to the continuous, active grace of Allah. The return to the Creator in distress, Kanz al-Iman. Quran. Surah Luqman, the Wise Man, Chapter 31. Verse 32. And when waves cover them like awnings, they call upon Allah, making the obedience exclusive to Him. Then when He delivers them safely to the land, some of them are moderate, and none denies our verses, except every treacherous, ungrateful person. This verse offers a profound, incisive spiritual critique by dissecting a critical, universal psychological and spiritual phenomenon, the immediate, instinctive, and undeniable recognition of Tawhid that surfaces in moments of overwhelming existential crisis. It focuses on the sailors from the previous verse metaphor, representing humanity at large, who encounter a life-threatening, cataclysmic storm at sea, and when waves cover them like awnings. The description is vivid, evocative, and terrifying, equating the mountainous, dark waves to colossal, encompassing deep awnings that blot out the sky, threaten instant obliteration, and crush the human spirit with their magnitude. In this moment of ultimate, inescapable terror, all human-made delusions, all cherished idols, all intellectual reliance on false, imagined powers immediately vanish. The instinctive, desperate, and pure cry is directed solely and exclusively toward the only source of absolute power. They call upon Allah, making the obedience exclusive to Him. This immediate, complete, unadulterated dedication of all worship, devotion, and plea is the pure, momentary triumph of the uncorrupted human fitra, natural disposition. It proves that the truth of Tawhid is innate in every soul. However, the verse then exposes the heartbreaking, persistent spiritual inconsistency and frailty of human nature. Once the crisis is miraculously averted, then, when He delivers them safely to the land, most of them, having witnessed a direct miracle of divine power, immediately revert to their spiritual ambiguity. Some of them are moderate minnow muqtagid. This moderate state is not spiritual excellence, iasan. It signifies a dangerous, compromising, lukewarm position. They have pulled back from the absolute, total certainty and commitment felt during the crisis, neither fully embracing the total commitment of Tawhid, nor fully reverting to outright shirk. They fall into a state of spiritual negligence, half-hearted compliance, and an internal intellectual evasion of the witnessed truth. The verse concludes with a definitive, powerful condemnation of the worst spiritual state, and none denies our verses except every treacherous, ungrateful person kuloka aran kafir. The persistent denial of the signs, which were so clearly manifested in the storm, is linked to the destructive combination of treachery, kar, one who repeatedly violates covenants, breaks faith, and betrays trust and ingratitude, kaf, one who completely covers up, denies or rejects the obvious blessings and the very existence of the Creator. This shows that persistent spiritual denial is rooted not in mere intellectual failing, but in a profound moral and spiritual defect that Luqman's wisdom sought desperately to excise. The Day of Judgment and the Five Keys to the Unseen. Kanzul Iman Quran. Luqman, the Wise Man, chapter 31, verse 33. O mankind, fear your Lord and fear the day when the father will not be of any use to his son, nor the son be of any use to his father in anything. Indeed, the promise of Allah is true, so let not the life of the world deceive you, nor let the great deceiver deceive you concerning Allah. The surah now delivers its ultimate, most solemn, and pervasive warning, addressing all of O mankind, Yayuha, unannounced to emphasize the universality and gravity of the message, leaving no one outside the scope of accountability. The command is a dual injunction to piety and continuous awareness. Fear your Lord and fear the day of judgment. This terrifying, inevitable day is profoundly defined by the absolute cessation of all human-centric relationships, loyalties, and protective connections that often compromise our choices in this worldly life. The verse paints a solemn picture, when the father will not be of any use to his son, or the son be of any use to his father in anything. All familial, social, political, or financial connections, the very ties that often compromise one's commitment to Tawhid in this world, will become utterly irrelevant, powerless, and disconnected. The sole currency on that day will be one's sincere, uncompromised faith in the ledger of righteous deeds, underscoring the necessity of individual, unconditional action and preparation now. The imperative to act is strengthened by the declaration. Indeed, the promise of Allah is true, inawa dalahiya yuk. The Day of Judgment is an undeniable, imminent certainty, as true as the creation of the heavens and the earth. This truth necessitates two profound protective warnings against the primary sources of spiritual destruction in this life. First, so let not the life of the world deceive you. The fleeting, transient, and superficially attractive allure of worldly wealth, status, titles, and pleasure must not be allowed to divert the soul from the eternal reality and the ultimate necessary preparation. Second, nor let the great deceiver deceive you concerning Allah. The great deceiver, Algar, is Satan, Iblis, whose ultimate, most damaging deception is twofold, either to encourage humans to have false, arrogant confidence in Allah's mercy while neglecting His terrifying justice, or to make them doubt His power and the absolute certainty of accountability. This dual warning ensures that the believer faces both the internal lure of the temporal world and the external constant deception of the adversary with eyes wide open and a heart fortified by the certainty of Elam. Kanzul Iman. The Quran, Surah Luqman, the Wise Man, chapter 31, verse 34. Indeed, Allah with him is the knowledge of the hour, and He sends down the rain, and He knows what is in the wombs. And no soul knows what it will earn tomorrow, and no soul knows in which land it will die. Indeed, Allah is all-knowing, all-aware. This final majestic verse of Surah Luqman acts as the definitive theological capstone, concluding the entire discourse on Tawhid and Hikmah with a solemn, powerful assertion of Allah's absolute, exclusive knowledge over 5 fundamental defining matters of the unseen al-Ghayb. These 5 matters are the ultimate profound secrets of existence. and knowledge of them is reserved solely for the Creator, forming the sacred limits of human comprehension. The declaration begins with a powerful shift. Indeed, Allah with him is the knowledge of the hour. The 5 exclusive pieces of knowledge are: the knowledge of the hour, meaning the precise, fixed, and final time of the day of resurrection. This knowledge is not revealed to any creature, demanding that humanity live in a continuous state of preparedness. And he sends down the rain, meaning the exact location, the precise timing, and the specific quantity of precipitation, a process essential for life, but entirely beyond human prediction, with total certainty. This asserts his continuous control over provision, and he knows what is in the wombs. This refers to the precise nature, the full destiny, the characteristics, and the ultimate outcome of the fetus being formed, a knowledge that transcends mere physical observation and delves into the mysteries of the soul. And no soul knows what it will earn tomorrow, encompassing all future provision, all future actions, and the full scope of one's destiny, a stark reminder of the ultimate uncertainty of human plans and the constant, critical need for sincere reliance upon Allah. No soul knows in which land it will die. The time and place of one's death angel is the ultimate, final secret, underscoring the critical necessity of living every moment with full spiritual awareness and complete preparation, as the final curtain can drop anywhere at any time. The verse and the entire surah is brought to a powerful, non-negotiable close with the final statement of Allah's perfect attributes. Indeed, Allah is all-knowing, all-aware, al-Kaman Kabar. This final pairing assures the believer that the one who keeps these 5 profound secrets is not an indifferent remote power, but one whose knowledge is comprehensive, is perfect, and absolute, and whose awareness kubur is meticulous and detailed, ensuring that all actions, plans, and destinies unfold with absolute divine purpose. Hadith on the 5 keys to the unseen. The magnificent conclusion of Surah Luqman, verse 34, provides the absolute theological statement regarding the limits of human knowledge and the necessity of humility. It is so pivotal that it was explicitly affirmed by the final prophet, peace be upon him. The prophet, peace be upon him, taught, "The keys of the Ghayb unseen are 5. No one knows them but Allah. 1. No one knows what is in the wombs but Allah. 2. No one knows what will happen tomorrow but Allah. 3. No one knows when it will rain but Allah. 4. No one knows where any soul will die but Allah. And 5. No one knows when the hour will be established but Allah." Sahih al-Bukhari, Hadith 4699. This sacred hadith, narrated by the companion Abdullah ibn Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, directly and explicitly confirms and reiterates the 5 matters mentioned in the concluding verse of Surah Luqman, defining them as the exclusive keys of the unseen Mafātiḥ al-Ghayb. This prophetic articulation reinforces the surah's concluding theological point: the human being, having been gifted the immense hikmah of Luqman and surrounded by the absolute certainty of the Creator's power, must remain fundamentally humble, recognizing the profound limits of their own ill. True wisdom lies not in aspiring to know the unknowable, but in sincere, unyielding submission to the one who holds the keys to time, life, death, and provision. The wise person avoids the arrogance of claiming this ultimate knowledge and instead focuses their entire energy on the single most critical task: preparing for the day when the father cannot help the son. This focused preparation, born of profound humility and knowledge of the limits of the self, is the highest expression of the hikmah preached by Allah, Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim. Let us now supplicate, drawing from the profound lessons of these verses, asking Allah to grant us a deeper understanding and to guide our every step. O Allah, Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim, solidify in our hearts the absolute truth that you are al-Ḥaqq and that all else is Bāṭil, so that our worship remains purely and exclusively devoted to you. The Most High, the Most Great, grant us the spiritual state of the patient and the grateful, to recognize your continuous grace in the sailing of the ships and the calming of the storms. Protect us from the treachery and ingratitude of returning to spiritual ambiguity after witnessing your power. Guard us from the great deceiver Iblis and the fleeting temptations of the world, and make us ever mindful of the day when no soul can aid another. As the all-knowing, all-aware, who holds the 5 keys of the unseen, Grant us the wisdom to live in constant preparation for our appointed end and the certainty of the hour. May Allah illuminate your heart and mind with the light of this divine ill. May He make your channel a beacon of guidance for all who seek spiritual clarity and truth. May your efforts be a source of immense reward, and may you be granted the highest stations of paradise. May the peace and blessings of Allah always be upon you and your loved ones. May He grant you unwavering steadfastness on the path of truth. And may your work be a testament to His magnificent names, Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim. Amin.